Catriona's point of view.
I rolled over in bed, wanting to snuggle into Jaden, but his side was empty. I opened my eyes. Yes, I was alone. I glanced at the wall clock. It was late. 4 a.m. I got out of bed and went to the bathroom. When I came back, I sat on the edge of the bed. Where could he be at this hour? As restlessness grew, I decided to go out and look for him. Something could have happened. I can't just sit here. Before I could leave, the door creaked open. Jaden stepped inside, barely. He seemed surprised to see me awake. "Why are you up at this hour?" he asked, closing the door behind him. I should be the one asking that. Where were you, Jaden? What are you doing out this late? Katrina, I'm a grown man. I don't need to be questioned like a child by a woman. That stung. As your woman, who shares the same bed with you, I do have the right to know. And most importantly, you came in like that, naked. I'm a werewolf, baby. Don't put stupid ideas in your head. Don't worry about where I was. His words cut deep. My concern meant nothing to him. Whatever, I muttered and crawled back into bed. Wake up, my love. We have to leave, Jaden said, kissing my forehead. I opened my eyes and squinted against the light. Good morning, he said warmly. You too, I replied coldly. He didn't react to my mood. Instead, he pointed to the breakfast already set on the table. Hurry up, we have to leave immediately. We were on the highway heading... I didn't know where. Gabriel was driving, silent. The long drive stretched on until he finally stopped on a mountain road. I didn't ask questions. I trusted them. I knew I was safe. Jaden led the way up the path. We hiked the mountain trail until a house came into view. I was tired but kept it to myself. Neither of them paid me much attention, especially Jaden. His focus was locked on the house. In the distance, women, young and old, stood watching us suspiciously. One young woman held a black pearl rosary in her hands. She raised it and warned, "Stay right there, wolves, unless you want me to turn you to ashes." I shrank behind Gabriel instinctively. He placed a reassuring hand on my shoulder. It's okay, Pumpkin. I won't let anything happen to you. His touch sent shivers down my spine. I liked it. They're my guests, Cheyenne. Put it down, the older woman said calmly. As we got closer, I recognized her. She was the woman from the plane, the one who told me to call them, the ones I didn't know at the time. Jaden and Gabriel seemed just as surprised, but what unsettled me most was how both women kept staring directly at me. I clung to Gabriel's side. Hello, I'm sure you remember me, Jaden said. I do. I've been expecting you, though I didn't know you'd bring companions. She's not just a companion, Jaden replied, pulling me close. She's my mate, my woman. I blushed and smiled. It felt good, really good, to be claimed like that, especially when it's real. Cheyenne chuckled and looked at me over. Does she know what you did behind her back? She asked sharply. Jaden's expression instantly shifted. My heart skipped. What was she talking about? Come inside, the old woman said, but the two of them have to wait outside. Jaden looked down at me, clearly hesitant. Wait here, baby. I'll be quick, he said, and followed her in. Gabriel and I moved away and sat under the shade of a tree. Silence hung between us until he finally spoke. How are you feeling, Katrina? I was a bit surprised he used my name and not Pumpkin. Honestly, I don't know. I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of this. Every time I feel like I'm getting used to one supernatural thing, another one appears. But I'm doing my best, for the man I love. I'd do it 1,000 times over. He looked at me, eyes intense. I'm your man too, Pumpkin. I'm your mate, and I'm running out of patience waiting for you to accept that. It hurts every time you praise Jaden in front of me. You are my mate too, and Jaden knows it. Let's not talk about that now, I said quietly, turning away. Do you know why we came here? I asked after a while. He didn't tell you? No, did he tell you? I know, but he'll tell you himself. It's beautiful here, I said, breaking the silence. I agree, he replied, then stood. I'm going for a swim. Want to join? No, I don't know how to swim. And where's the pool? I saw a pond on the way up. Come on, I'll teach you. I hesitated, then followed him downhill. Sure enough, there it was, a beautiful, clear pond. Just as I stepped forward, a voice echoed in my mind. Don't get in that pond with him. I spun around. No one was there. Am I hearing things? I mumbled. Come on, pumpkin. You can't keep your gorgeous teacher waiting, Gabriel called, already shirtless in the water. I'm coming, I replied and stepped forward. Don't go, Katrina, the voice warned again. But I ignored it. I took Gabriel's hand and let him pull me in. The moment I stepped into the water, everything shifted. A strange warmth surged through me, intensifying the emotions I'd carefully tried to suppress. My heart pounded. My body responded before my mind could catch up, drawn to Gabriel like a magnet. I reached out and ran my hands slowly across his chest, savoring the feel of him beneath my fingertips. Every inch of his skin ignited something inside me, something wild, something forbidden. Pumpkin, are you okay? He asked, concern in his eyes despite the desire that mirrored mine. Lean closer, I murmured, barely recognizing my voice. Please, just come to my level. He hesitated, confused, but then dipped his head toward mine. I have feelings for you too, Gabriel, I breathed. I love you. And before he could speak, I closed the space between us and pressed my lips to his. He didn't flinch. He didn't stop me. Instead, he kissed me back, hungrily, desperately, like he'd been waiting a lifetime for this moment. Our mouths moved in perfect rhythm, our tongues tasting the truth we had both tried to deny. The water rippled gently around us as we held each other close, every touch sparking deeper cravings. The tension between us was no longer just emotional, it was electric, consuming. Gabriel finally pulled away, his breath shaky, his eyes searching mine. Pumpkin, are you sure you're okay? He asked, his voice a blend of desire and restraint. He wanted me, but he needed to be certain. My whole body trembled. My heart screamed for him, even as my mind whispered doubts. But all I could feel was him, only him. I want you, I said, my voice raw with emotion. All of you. I want everything you are, Gabriel. What's happening to me? I wondered silently. Why does this feel so right and so wrong at the same time? But the yearning in my chest silenced the questions. I wanted him, not later, now. You're sure? He asked again, his voice low and husky. I met his gaze and nodded, breathless. Yes, I whispered. Let's do it.
Gabriel's point of view.
Stood still, eyes locked on Katrina, trying to figure out if she was teasing me or if this was really happening. God, I wanted this. Wanted her. So damn bad. But I didn't want to mess it up by rushing. It had been so long since I'd been with anyone, because no one ever compared to her. I've imagined this moment countless times, but never once did I picture it happening in a secluded mountain pond. That kiss had already done the damage. My body was practically on fire. She looked so beautiful standing there, her chest rising and falling, eyes darkened with desire. She gripped my hands in hers, voice barely above a whisper. Gabriel, I want you. Now. I want you too, pumpkin. So fucking bad, I breathed. Then what are you waiting for? I didn't answer because I didn't know, but she caught the hesitation in my silence. Slowly, deliberately, she lifted her shirt, revealing a black lace bra that clung to her like sin. Her skin glowed in the golden morning sunlight, and for a breathless second, I forgot everything but her. Delicious, I thought. And that was it. I lost control. I pulled her into my arms, lifting her with ease. She wrapped her legs around my waist, her mouth colliding with mine in a kiss that burned through every inch of restraint I had left. I tasted her, sweet, wild, addictive, and I wanted more. The kiss deepened, turning hungry. My hands roamed her back, gripping her like she might vanish. Her fingers tangled in my hair, tugging hard. I unhooked her bra, letting it fall into the water without a thought. Her breasts were flawless, soft, full, begging to be worshipped. I groaned, desire slamming into me like a wave. My cock throbbed, straining against the fabric of my pants, aching for her. I'm going to make her scream my name, I thought, already lost in the fantasy, her body arching beneath mine, her voice breaking on moans, her nails clawing down my back as I claimed her. Again and again, she would be mine, completely. But just as I was about to take her, everything shattered. She was yanked from my arms and thrown into the water with a violent splash. Before I could react, a fist slammed into my jaw. Pain exploded through my skull as I crashed back into the water, taken aback. I surfaced just in time to see him. Jaden. His eyes blazed with fury, glowing like embers about to ignite. "Who the fuck told you to touch my mate, you motherfucker?" He roared, voice raw with rage. Before I could even rise, he was on me, fists flying, wild and furious. Blow after blow rained down, giving me barely enough time to shield my face. "She's mine. No one touches her. No one!" Jaden roared, his voice a mix of gravel and venom, every word seething with possessive rage. Another punch came, but this time I blocked it and struck back, landing a solid hit to his ribs that sent him stumbling. I surged to my feet, dragging myself out of the water, soaked and bleeding, breath coming in ragged gasps. My jaw throbbed, my ribs ached, but I could already feel the healing start. Across the bank, the witches watched with wide eyes, like they were seeing some twisted drama unfold in real time. "Gabriel, are you okay?" Katrina called out, her arms crossed over her bare chest, soaked and shivering. "I'm fine, pumpkin," I grunted, swiping blood from my mouth. "You?" She didn't answer. Her gaze wasn't on me, it was locked behind me, widening with alarm. Jaden hit me again. This time harder. There was no hesitation now, no restraint, just raw, relentless fury. I snarled, "Enough." I let the shift take over. My body contorted, bones cracking and stretching, fur ripping through skin. Gasps echoed around us as the witches stepped back, eyes wide at the sight of me, my wolf. Towering, dark as midnight, seething with rage barely held on a leash. I lunged, but Jaden didn't shift. What the hell? My claws skidded against the ground as I halted. No transformation, no wolf. Just a human, standing there, reckless and enraged, and yet still fighting like he had his wolf. He threw a punch straight into my snout. Pain flared sharp and instant, but I didn't retaliate. For her. I couldn't hurt him, not yet. I lowered myself, preparing to pin him, force him to yield without breaking him. Then Katrina bolted forward, her wet hair clinging to her face as she threw herself between us. "No! Don't hurt my man!" she screamed, wrapping her arms around Jaden like a shield. Her man. The words sliced through me like a blade, hot and cruel. For a moment I just stood there, massive, panting, still dripping from the water, while something far worse than any punch cracked open inside me. Just minutes ago, she told me she loved me. Now she was protecting him, the same man who just tried to tear me apart. "Which is it, Katrina? What the hell is this? Were you two timing them?" Cheyenne sneered. "Little slut." Katrina recoiled, wounded by the insult. I felt the fury rising again. "We're leaving," Jaden said coldly, voice like ice. But I saw his hand wrapped tightly around her wrist. Too tight. As they walked past the witches, he suddenly stopped. His eyes locked on the one who had insulted Katrina earlier. Narrowed, deadly. Without a word, he grabbed her by the throat and lifted her off the ground like she weighed nothing. "Don't ever speak about my mate like that again," he snarled. Then he tossed her to the ground like she was nothing more than trash. Honestly, I didn't blame him. I'd wanted to do the same. Once they were gone, I turned to the coven, fury thrumming just beneath my skin. Why the hell doesn't Jaden have his wolf back? I barked. Cheyenne rolled her eyes, full of disdain. Now I see why that girl is playing you both like fools. I stepped forward, voice low and sharp. Watch your mouth. Say that again, and I'll rip it off your face. Her mother moved between us, tone laced with warning. I won't stand here while you threaten my daughter. Then teach her some respect, I snapped. She insulted my mate first. Cheyenne scoffed, arms crossed. What's so special about that human that two wolves are tearing each other apart over her? I didn't dignify her with an answer. I clenched my fists and turned to her mother. What the hell happened in your damn house? Jaden went in to reclaim his wolf. He came out still smelling like a human. The older witch met my glare with unnerving calm, her expression cool, composed. He refused our terms, she said flatly. My jaw tightened. What kind of terms? Her brow lifted, as if the answer should have been obvious. The kind that demands sacrifice. Real power always comes at a price. Instead, he stormed out, chose to chase after her instead of claiming what he came for. Understandable, I suppose. Though, the scene he walked into, unfortunate timing. I took a step forward, anger rising in my chest. So this is your fault. She tilted her head, the faintest smile playing on her lips. No, this is the pond's doing. Her voice dropped, almost reverent now. You know its nature. The pond doesn't lie. It feeds on intention. It reflects truth, especially the ones you try to bury. Desire, fear, loyalty, betrayal. My stomach turned, the weight of her words settling like stone. The pond hadn't just exposed what we felt. It had ignited something far worse. It didn't just show the truth. It started a war. Now get out of my property. You don't have to say it twice, I snapped, turning on my heel and storming off. When I reached the clearing, my stomach dropped. No car. Just my bag, tossed carelessly onto the ground like garbage. No fucking way. Jaden, you asshole, I growled under my breath. You left me here and took my damn car? I yanked on my clothes, slung the bag over my shoulder, and started walking. My legs screamed with every step, exhaustion dragging me down, but I kept going. I had no other choice. Eventually, my body gave out. I couldn't take another step. With a frustrated sigh, I stripped off my clothes, and shifted into my wolf form. I barely had time to breathe before I felt them. They came from the trees. Silent. Precise. A group of men in black and red berets emerged, surrounding me in a tight circle. Their weapons were drawn, their movements cold and rehearsed. I froze, hackles raised. No vampire scent, no werewolf, not human either. Look what we've got here, one of them sneered. A werewolf. Haven't seen one of you in a while. Another murmured, licking his lips. I smell alpha blood. Bet it tastes divine. A low growl rumbled from my chest as I crouched, ready to strike. But then, my limbs locked up. My muscles spasmed. My vision blurred. My paws stumbled in the dirt. Shit. Poison. Or worse, magic. Don't bother fighting, Alpha. A man with one eye stepped forward, his grin twisted. You're ours now. He raised a dagger, its blade gleaming silver in the moonlight. Poison. Or worse, magic. Don't bother fighting, Alpha. A man with one eye stepped forward, his grin twisted. You're ours now. He raised a dagger, its blade gleaming silver in the moonlight.
Katrina's point of view.
Jaden, please slow down, I pleaded, gripping the dashboard as the car swerved dangerously along the deserted road. My voice trembled with fear. If you keep driving like this, we're going to crash. But Jaden ignored me. His hands clenched the wheel, knuckles white, his jaw locked tight. The fury radiating off him was nearly tangible, and I understood why. He'd seen me with Gabriel. The way Gabriel had touched me, the way I'd let him, I didn't know what had come over me. I only knew that my heart pulled me toward Gabriel, even when I was supposed to belong to Jaden. Minutes later, Jaden slammed on the brakes in front of an old crumbling house. A faded sign hung crookedly above the door. Convenient motel. Before I could say a word, he flung open my door, grabbed my wrist, and dragged me out of the car. My heels scraped against the gravel as I struggled to keep up, heart pounding, unsure whether from fear or guilt. The inside of the motel smelled of old wood and forgotten memories. At the end of a dim hallway, an old woman sat in a rocking chair knitting. Something about her unsettled me. Ever since I lost my babies, old people make me uneasy. They were everywhere, like ghostly reminders of my grief. The woman stood when she saw us approach, her smile polite but curious as her eyes flicked between Jaden and me. "He's my boyfriend," I blurted, answering the question written on her face. "Any big rooms available?" Jaden asked stiffly. "Yes, there's one, but it's rather expensive." "I'll take it," he interrupted, voice cold and clipped. The woman nodded, disappearing down a narrow hallway to fetch the keys. As we waited, 2 boys appeared, a toddler and an older child, both calling out, "Grandma." They froze when they saw us, wide-eyed but smiling shyly. "Hi there," I said gently, offering a small smile despite my tension. To my relief, they smiled back, and something in my chest softened. The old woman returned with the keys and handed them to Jaden. "Upstairs," she directed. Without a word, Jaden dragged me up the staircase. I glanced back, hearing the old woman's voice behind us. "Are my babies hungry?" The house, though old on the outside, was surprisingly beautiful inside. Still, I couldn't help but wonder why anyone would turn such a home into a motel. Once inside the room, Jaden locked the door behind us. He released my hand only to seize my shoulders, forcing me to meet his blazing eyes. "Jaden, am I not enough for you?" he growled through clenched teeth. "Was my patience meaningless to you?" His voice cut through me like a blade. "Jaden, you're scaring me," I whispered. I tried to calm him. "I know you're angry about what happened, but please, let's sit down and talk. I can explain everything, how it started, just not like this. Please." But Jaden wasn't listening. Suddenly, he shoved me back onto the bed, tearing open his shirt, buttons scattering across the floor. His hands gripped my jeans, ripping at the fabric. My protests fell on deaf ears. "Jaden, please, not like this," I begged, glancing toward the door. "There are children here. You saw them downstairs." For a brief moment, I thought he might stop. He paused, as if considering my words. Relief washed over me, but only for a second. Then, without a word, he stripped off his clothes and grabbed me again, pinning me beneath him. "You're mine," he growled, voice low and possessive. "This beautiful body belongs to no one but me. Only me." Panic swirled inside me, but my body betrayed me, responding despite my fear. He entered me forcefully without warning, making me cry out in pain. Quickly, I covered my mouth, terrified the children might hear. Jaden was large, too large for how unprepared I was. Every thrust was agony at first. I forced myself to relax, hoping it would ease the pain. Slowly, my body adjusted, and as he moved, the sharp pain dulled into something else, something dangerously close to pleasure. My breathing quickened, involuntary moans escaping. "Say it," he demanded, his voice a low rasp in my ear. "Say you're mine. Say it now." "Yes, Jaden," I gasped. "I'm yours. Yours alone." But even as I spoke the words, Gabriel's face flashed in my mind. My heart twisted with guilt. I shouldn't be thinking about him now. This was Jaden's moment. Ours. Sensing I was close to climax, Jaden pulled out suddenly and flipped me onto my stomach. He pushed into me again from behind, driving deeper with every thrust. My body weakened, collapsing into the pillows as wave after wave of orgasm overtook me. Jaden held my hips firmly, dragging me back into him as his rhythm grew more relentless. I could barely breathe, my body trembling, but I knew Jaden wouldn't stop until he said he was done. When he finally climaxed, his body tensed, shuddering as his release pulsed through him. For a moment, he stayed buried inside me, his labored breaths hot against my skin. Then, slowly he withdrew, rolling onto his back and putting a measured distance between us. I lay there trembling, my muscles weak and spent. Gently, I pulled the duvet up, shielding my nakedness as my chest rose and fell in unsteady rhythm. The room felt heavy with unspoken words. "Jaden," I whispered, my voice small, tentative. "Can we talk now?" His eyes fixed on me, studying my face as if searching for something beneath the surface. The silence stretched, thick and uneasy, wrapping around us like a second skin. His expression remained unreadable, neither anger nor tenderness, only that cold, unsettling stillness. Without answering, he reached for the duvet and peeled it back again, his gaze slowly sweeping over my exposed body, possessive, assessing. My breath caught under the weight of his stare. Finally, he tugged the cover back over me, as though shielding what was his. Then, without a word, he stood and walked into the bathroom, leaving me in the quiet, tangled in sheets and emotions I could no longer untangle. As I lay there, struggling to steady my breath, a sudden flicker of movement pulled my attention. My heart jolted as my head snapped toward the window. Standing just beyond the glass was a woman, thin, ghostly pale. Her hollow, sunken face was framed by tangled strands of dark hair, her wide, unblinking eyes locked onto mine, as though she couldn't believe I was staring back at her. For a moment, neither of us moved, frozen in a silent exchange. Then her lips parted, and in a breathy, almost disbelieving whisper, she spoke. Can you see me?"
Jaden's point of view.
I stood still under the cold shower, letting the water wash over my skin, but it did little to calm the storm raging inside me. I was on the verge of exploding. My desperation to get my wolf back gnawed at me endlessly. I was willing to do whatever it took. When I entered that witch's house, I truly believed I would leave with my wolf restored. But I hadn't expected her twisted conditions. One of them, to sleep with her daughter for 14 nights as payment. 14 nights. And while I craved my wolf, I couldn't bring myself to betray Katrina again. I refused. But then, when I came back to find my girl, what I saw crushed me. There she was, in the arms of my worst enemy. I couldn't unsee it. The betrayal cut deeper than any blade. I reached for a washcloth, but as my hand touched it, I paused. God knows how many people had used it before me. Disgusted, I tossed it aside. Just as I was about to step out of the bathroom, Katrina's panicked scream echoed from the other room. My heart dropped. Without thinking, I rushed out to her. She was sitting upright, eyes locked on the window, her breathing frantic. I followed her gaze but saw nothing. Just empty. "Katrina! Baby, what's wrong?" I hurried to her side. Her hand trembled as she pointed at the window. "That woman! What is she doing here? How did she get in?" I furrowed my brows, trying to see what she was seeing. But there was nothing. "What are you talking about? There's no one there." Her eyes widened even more. "Baby, what's wrong?" I asked gently. "She was right there. She was staring at me," she insisted, her voice shaky, eyes darting across the window. "Listen, baby, it's just us here. There's no one else," I said softly, but she wasn't convinced. She got out of bed and cautiously walked toward the window. She had never walked naked around me so carelessly before. It only showed how deeply shaken she was. "Jaden, she was right here. And when she saw you, she vanished," she said, pulling back the curtains to check behind them. Now I was truly confused. None of this made sense. "What are you trying to say, Katrina? That you lying or crazy?" Her stare hardened. "That's not what I'm saying, Jaden." She took a breath, her voice rising. "That woman was here. She was very thin, had blue hair and blue eyes. She saw me and I saw her, and when she saw you, she disappeared." I sighed heavily, frustration in building. "Go take a shower. I'm taking you back to Vancouver," I said firmly. She closed her eyes and exhaled deeply. "You know what? Whatever." She paced the room, gathering what was left of her clothes. Her expression shifted to anger as she stared down at the ruined fabric. She bent to pick up her torn jeans, giving me a perfect view of her body that still drove me wild, even in this tense moment. With a small snort, realizing the jeans were unsalvageable, she grabbed my shirt instead and slipped into it. Then she retrieved the keys, unlocked the door, and stormed out, slamming it behind her. "What a day," I groaned. A while later, I stepped out and found her already seated in the car, talking on the phone. "Okay, Miss Olivier. I'll be there at night." "It's okay, don't worry about me. I'll be fine. It's nothing new. I love you, Miss Olivier. Bye." She ended the call with a troubled expression. "Is your brother doing fine?" I asked, noticing how distant she seemed. "Katrina? Baby, talk to me." She jumped slightly. "Ah, sorry. Were you saying something? Are you okay? Is something wrong with your brother?" "No, he's fine. He's fine. It's about It's nothing." I cupped her chin gently. "Look at me, baby. I know something is bothering you, and I don't think it's just about what happened in the motel." Yes, it's about that," she insisted. "Now can we leave? I want to see my brother." I stared at her for a moment before starting the car. Whatever was haunting her, it wasn't our argument. But I didn't press. I had my own demons to deal with. We reached the airport, but she refused to let me drive her to the hospital. We argued for a while, but eventually I gave up. Back at the pack house, something felt off the moment I arrived. The patrol guards were unfamiliar, new faces I didn't recognize. My gut tightened with unease. I stormed inside and headed straight for Jerome's office. Empty. My tension spiked. Where was everyone? I called Jerome's number. Voicemail. Not good. I took the elevator up to his room. Again, empty. The silence blanketing the house was unnerving. I quickly headed toward the kids' wing, hoping to find Vanessa, needing answers. But as I turned a corner, I nearly collided with someone. Jocelyn. She froze, visibly startled. "What are you doing here? Did you come to see Jerome?" I asked, but she immediately started shushing me and tried to pull me away from the hallway. "Why are you coming from the kids' wing?" I asked sharply. She grabbed my arm, trying to steer me away, but I glared down at her hand until she let go. "Hey, where's Jerome? I need to talk to him." Jocelyn looked torn, as though she wanted to say something but couldn't. Before she could answer, a painful groan echoed from inside one of the rooms. My heart dropped. I stormed inside, and what I found made my blood boil. Jerome and the pack members were chained, silver burning into their skin, their bodies shaking from the pain. Off to the side stood Vanessa, watching. My pack, my people, held prisoner in my own house. The moment they saw me, their eyes lit up with hope, but Jerome avoided my gaze. He was ashamed, blaming himself. But I knew he'd never willingly allow this. Then Jocelyn's voice behind me made me spin around. "What's going on here?" I demanded. "Wait a damn minute. Are you behind this?" "Absolutely." A man's voice cut it behind me. I turned to see him standing there, Jocelyn's father, wearing a smug grin, flanked by his wife and sons. "What the hell do you think you're doing here?" I snarled. "Easy, Alpha," he said mockingly, raising his hands. "I'm not here to fight. I came to negotiate." "There's nothing to negotiate. What do you want?" "I want the girl. Give her to me, and I'll release everyone unharmed." My mind raced. Did Jerome bring Jocelyn here behind her father's back because of the pregnancy? If so, he should have taken her to the old house, not here. I warned him not to bring her back. "Are you joking? You can take her. She's yours, and I'll make sure she never returns here," I said coldly, pointing to his daughter. My priority was my pack's safety. These people were ruthless and unstable. He sniggered. "I'm afraid you misunderstood, Alpha. I don't mean Jocelyn, though I am proud of her for making this possible." He turned to Jocelyn, blowing her a kiss. "Well done, daughter. Keep making your father proud." I looked from Jocelyn to her parents. My chest tightened with fury. "What is this, Jocelyn? Did you trap Jerome by faking your pregnancy?" Her father waved dismissively. Back to business, Alpha. I'm here for one thing. I want your girl. I narrowed my eyes. Who the fuck are you talking about? The human girl you mated with, he sneered. What's her name again? Ah, yes, Katrina. Give her to me and I'll be on my way.
Gabriel's point of view.
I lay there, paralyzed, as the man advanced toward me with a gleaming silver sword. My mind screamed at my body to move, to fight, to survive. But nothing worked. The numbness was suffocating. He raised the blade high, poised to strike me down, and in that moment, I knew I was finished. After everything I'd survived, wars, betrayals, countless battles, this was how it would end. Like a helpless animal, I hadn't even gotten the chance to be with my mate. The mate I thought I'd never find. It wasn't fair. A werewolf alpha should not die like this, not after finally discovering his mate. At the very least, I wished I could kiss her goodbye. The man loomed over me, his lips curling into a cruel smirk. Is there something you'd like to repent before I send you off to heaven? He asked, his voice dripping with mockery. Inside, I screamed my regrets. I regret finding my mate so late. I regret not holding her, not hearing her say she loved me back. I regret not seeing her smile, light up the world one last time. And my pack, I've been harsh on them, arrogant even, but they're my family. I care for them, even if I never showed it enough. The man sneered. If you have nothing to say, big dog, allow me to deliver you to heaven. My mouth is watering to taste you, but first this man in my hands must help me. With that, he drove the silver blade deep into my midriff. The poison burned like liquid fire, eating away at my insides. No words could ever describe the agony, the pain of dying like a worthless beast, the pain of leaving my pack behind, and worst of all, the pain of leaving her. Pumpkin, I whispered inside my head. I wish I could see you one last time. A single tear slid down my face as the darkness closed in. Then I heard her voice, soft, sweet, calling my name. Gabriel, Gabriel. I turned my head despite the blinding pain and saw her smiling at me. My beautiful pumpkin. That one smile was enough to let me go in peace. Pumpkin, you came? You heard my cries? Thank you. Your coming means everything. My focus stayed on her, not noticing the tall, ancient figure beside her, a towering black man dressed in white from head to toe, clutching a long, weathered swagger stick. He was so tall that his face remained hidden in shadow. He stared at me in silence, unmoving, unblinking. Katrina smiled wider before her body slowly faded, dissolving into the air like mist. No, you can't leave me like this. I need you. Don't go, I begged, brokenly. But she was gone. Why did she leave? This isn't what I wanted, I said to the old man who still stared. Then the man stepped forward and lightly tapped my stomach with his swagger stick. This will drain the silver poison from your body and keep you from dying, he said softly. Then, still staring, he slowly disappeared, but not before a faint smile crossed his shadowed face. My vision darkened again, and I drifted into unconsciousness. When I opened my eyes, blurry and weak, I heard voices. Mom, I think he's awake. That voice, I recognized it instantly. The witch, the one who dared to disrespect my mate. Cheyenne. Her mother stepped closer. Step aside. Let me see. What the hell were these witches doing here? Was I dead? Were they dead too? I tried to sit up, but groaned in agony. The pain was unbearable. But dead men don't feel pain. Am I not dead? What the fuck is going on? I rasped. Exactly our question, they both said in unison. Cheyenne narrowed her eyes. You're a werewolf. You got stabbed with a silver sword. And you're not dead? How the hell is that possible? How did I end up here? I demanded. We found you in the woods, Cheyenne replied. How? How did you even know I was there? I followed you because I wanted to speak to you about something you might appreciate, something that could make you grateful for the rest of your life, she said with a mischievous glint in her eyes. I don't have time for your games, I growled and tried to rise again but collapsed back onto the mattress. We're not stopping you from leaving, the old witch said, but you need to rest first. You've survived the impossible, but if you walk out of here like this, who knows what will happen. Then lend me your car, I snapped. The old witch narrowed her eyes. Are you deaf or just stupid? It's okay, Mom. I'll drive him, Cheyenne said. Fine. But be careful. I'll prepare a tonic to restore some of his energy, her mother said. I wanted nothing from either of them, but I wasn't in a position to argue. The ride to the airport was long and silent. Thanks to the tonic, my pain had eased. As I stepped out of the car, she spoke again. Have you ever heard of the word thank you? She asked. What does that have to do with me? I replied coldly. You could thank me for driving you. I asked for the car, not your company. You're such a dick. Yes, I am, and I'll always be one to people like you, I said as I grabbed my things and marched forward. She hurried to keep up. Where are you going? I asked. I'm following you. Listen, bitch. If a thank you will make you leave, then here, thank you. Now get out of my face. Her eyes narrowed. Bitch. Is that how you address every woman, including your human mate? I stopped dead in my tracks. Now you're pushing it. Okay, I'll behave, she said, raising her hands in mock surrender, but kept following. Can you slow down? I need to tell you something important, she called after me. I ignored her. The real reason I drove you here is because I want to help you. That made me stop. She caught up, panting slightly. Do wolves always walk this fast, or is it just you? Get to the point. Do you really love that human girl? She asked. Don't you dare mention my mate, witch. I didn't insult her, just answer. What does my love for her have to do with you? So you do love her. I glared at her, but said nothing. How about we help each other? She offered. I opened my mouth to reject her outright, but she held up her hand. Let me finish. I can help you claim your human girl, fully, permanently. Just say yes, and she'll be yours forever. No one will be able to take her away from you. She'll belong only to you. I glared straight into her eyes. And what exactly do you gain from this? Her lips curled into a sly smile. I want Jayden Evers.
Catriona's point of view.
I stood at the entrance of the house, trying to piece together the right words to say to my aunt waiting inside. When Miss Olivier called earlier to tell me that they were being discharged from the hospital, I had been relieved, until she mentioned that my aunt had arrived. I took a deep breath and stepped inside. There she was, sitting next to my brother like she owned the place. My instinct was to rush to him, to pull him into my arms, but she raised a hand to stop me. Stay where you are, she commanded coldly. Don't touch him. He's just come from the hospital. Who knows where you've been? I expected nothing less from her. I'm clean, Aunt, I replied, though my cheeks flushed slightly, suddenly remembering I hadn't showered since being with Jaden. Okay, I'll go take a quick shower. Don't bother. I didn't come here for you, she cut in sharply. I'm here to take my nephew with me. Aunt, what do you mean? You're taking us where? Him. She emphasized the word with a pointed glare. I came for my nephew. We're not going anywhere with you, Aunt, I said firmly. I've taken care of him. I can continue to take care of him. She narrowed her eyes, her voice dripping with judgment. Really? Is that why he ended up in the hospital? You weren't even there for him. Since I arrived, I haven't seen you once at his bedside. I was the one who took him to the hospital, I shot back. I paid his bills. I've raised him since our mom died. Without your help, you and Grandma vanished when I needed you most. Why, Aunt, can you even answer that? My voice shook, but I refused to break. A nobody like you has no right to talk while adults speak, she hissed. Yes, you raised him, and you want applause for that? Take it as if you were doing my late sister a favor. Aunt, please don't say that, I pleaded. I raised him because I love him. He's my brother. Her lips curled into a cruel sneer. He's not your brother. Stop saying that. You're not related. Aunt, I yelled. But before I could say more, she slapped me hard across the face. My cheek burned as tears welled in my eyes. Don't you ever raise your voice at me, she spat. Big sister, my brother whimpered, his tiny voice cracking. It's okay, baby. Don't cry, I whispered to him. Miss Olivier quickly stepped in, taking him away gently. She gave me a sad, helpless glance as she led him into the other room. When my aunt turned back to me, her voice was colder than ever. It's time you knew the truth. You're nothing. You and my sister were never related, not by blood, not by anything. That boy you raised isn't your brother. We're not your family. Aunt, stop. This isn't the time for jokes. Do I sound like I'm joking? She sneered. Ask that old woman you call your grandmother. I shook my head, trying to keep my composure. I know you never liked me, but you're going too far. You're bad luck, she continued. From the moment my sister brought you into her house, her happiness ended. Ever wondered why Edrine's father left? Because of you. Her words hit like daggers. He left because of you, she repeated. Even our mother threatened to disown my sister if she didn't send you back to wherever she found you. But she didn't listen. She destroyed her life, everything for you. I won't believe your lies, Aunt, I whispered. I'm my mom's daughter. I'm my brother's sister. Another slap knocked me off balance. I stumbled to the ground. Don't you dare call me your aunt again. Pretend you don't know me if you ever see me again. You'll always be cursed, girl. You'll live your pathetic, cursed life alone until God finally takes pity on you. With that, she turned and stormed toward the door. But as she reached it, she paused and sneered one last time. And don't you ever fall in love. Any man you touch will be cursed right along with you. Her words echoed in my head long after she stormed into the room, each one slicing deeper than the last. My thoughts spiraled, dragging me back to a memory I had long buried, a heated argument I once overheard between my mother and my brother's father. I had been sitting quietly in the living room, watching cartoons, my small fingers clutching a bowl of snacks. Their raised voices spilt from behind the half-closed bedroom door. Yeah, I'll lean. His voice was sharp, cold. If you want a happy family with me and our unborn son, you need to get rid of that girl. You know what happened to me because of her. I nearly lost my life. And you still refuse to send her away. Eric, please. My mother's voice cracked, heavy with emotion. It's not her fault. She's innocent. You know that. You're the one who started everything. Do you love me, Aylin? His tone softened, but it was manipulative, calculated. I do, she whispered, her voice trembling. But I can't let her go. She's just a child. She has no one else but me. Then it's me or her. His words came like a dagger. Make your choice. Eric, please don't do this. Me or her, he repeated, colder this time. A long, suffocating silence followed before she finally answered, her voice barely audible. I love you, Eric, but I won't abandon her. Fine, he snapped. I hope you live happily with the one you chose. A moment later, the door flung open. His face was twisted in anger as he stormed out. On his way, he reached for the TV I was watching and angrily switched it off before slamming the door behind him. I remember my mother sinking to the floor behind the closed bedroom door, muffling her sobs so I wouldn't hear. But I heard everything. I had always wondered what that fight was truly about. Now her words haunted me. She's young, I'm all she has. Was she talking about me all along? Was I the girl Eric wanted out of their lives? And if so, was I really not her daughter? Suddenly, I heard my brother's loud crying in the other room. I rushed over to find Miss Olivier standing protectively in front of him. If you touch him, I'll call the police, Miss Olivier warned my aunt. Fine, you win this time, my aunt spat, but next time I'll destroy you both. You'll regret ever helping this nobody. She glanced at me with venom in her eyes and to Miss Olivier. Oh, and I heard your family sold your house behind your back. Quite a tragedy for a poor old woman like you. What is she talking about, Miss Olivier? I asked, my voice trembling, barely able to contain the storm of emotions rising inside me. Before she could answer, my aunt shoved me with such force that I stumbled backwards, slamming my stomach painfully into the edge of the window frame. The sharp pain made me gasp. "Big sister," my brother cried, rushing to my side. His small arms wrapped tightly around my waist as I steadied myself. "It's okay, baby. I'm fine," I whispered, forcing a smile through the sting in my gut. I pulled him closer, holding him protectively, as if my embrace could shield him from the cruelty swirling around us. Lifting my gaze, I saw Miss Olivier standing by the wall, her back turned to us. Her shoulders trembled as she silently wept. The sight broke my heart. Without a word, my brother and I approached her and gently wrapped our arms around her from behind, enveloping her in a quiet, fragile comfort. "It's okay, Miss Olivier," I whispered, "and I'm sorry for everything I've brought into your life." "Don't apologize, child," she replied softly, her voice quivering as she fought to hold back the tears. "None of this is your fault." "Big sister, I want to take a nap," my brother whispered, his voice heavy with exhaustion and fear. "All right, baby. Let's get you to bed." I led him to his room, tucking him in and pressing a gentle kiss to his forehead. His breathing soon evened out, the day's chaos finally giving way to peaceful slumber. Quietly, I closed the door behind me and headed to the kitchen, where Miss Olivier stood, lost in thought, staring at the stove as the food began to burn. The faint smell of smoke filled the air. I hurried over, switching off the stove and gently moving the pan aside. She blinked, as though only now realizing the food was burnt. "I'm sorry, child. I don't know what's wrong with me today," she whispered, her voice hollow. "Miss Olivier, I'm not hungry," I said softly. "Please, let's sit and talk." We both sat down at the small kitchen table, facing one another, the weight of unspoken truths hanging heavily between us. "Are you okay?" we both asked at the same time, and despite everything, a small laugh escaped us. The laughter faded quickly, leaving behind the heavy silence of unspoken truths. I took a deep breath, gathering my courage. "Miss Olivier, is it true? Did your family really sell the house?" I asked softly, searching her face for answers. She hesitated, her fingers nervously twisting the corner of her apron, then let out a weary sigh. "Yes, child. They sold it while I was away. They used my absence to their advantage. I fought to keep it, but in the end, there was nothing I could do." The ache in my chest deepened. My voice dropped to a whisper. "And it's because of me." "Don't you dare say that," she said sharply, her voice breaking as tears threatened to spill. "That's exactly why I didn't want to tell you. You always blame yourself for things that aren't your fault." I reached out and pulled her into a hug, holding her tightly as she finally let a few tears fall. "I promise you, Miss Olivier, one day, I'll get that house back. I swear it." We sat there for a moment, clinging to each other, finding comfort in our shared pain. When I finally pulled back, my voice trembled. "Miss Olivier, you heard everything my aunt said today. Please, I need you to be honest with me now. Is it true? Am I really not my mother's daughter?" She inhaled deeply, her eyes shimmering with sadness as she reached for my hands. "Child," she began, her voice barely above a whisper, "I think it's time you knew everything. Yes, it's true. The woman you called your mother, she wasn't your birth mother. She adopted you." "Are you saying—" "My aunt wasn't lying. She wasn't making it up just because she hates me?" I asked, my voice trembling, desperate for a sliver of hope that it was all a cruel game. Miss Olivier's eyes glistened with sadness. She hesitated, but finally nodded. "Yes, child. Everything she said is true. You're not part of their family by blood, but your mother and I never wanted you to find out this way." The words hit me like a punch to the chest. My breath caught as I tried to steady myself. Then why, Miss Olivier? Why didn't she ever tell me? Why hide it from me? If I were adopted, why didn't my mother tell me the truth? And who are my real parents? Why did they abandon me? My voice cracked under the weight of my sobs. The tears streamed down uncontrollably. Miss Olivier exhaled deeply, folding her hands in her lap as though gathering her strength. Your late mother never knew who your birth parents were, child. Neither did I. She found you through an old woman from her hometown. That woman had been thrown out of her house by her husband. Because of you. I blinked through my tears, stunned. Thrown out because of me? I whispered. Yes, she continued softly. The old woman told your mother that she found you curled up on a street veranda, your face streaked with dried tears. You were barely 3 years old then, unable to speak from shock and fear. She took you in and cared for you for 2 months, until her husband gave her an ultimatum. Either abandon you or lose her marriage. She was in the process of surrendering you for adoption when your mother stepped in and took you in. I squeezed my eyes shut, feeling my entire world crumble. And the curse, Miss Olivier? I forced the word out. What about the curse, the one I've carried my whole life? Curse? She looked at me with pained confusion. Child, you're not cursed. Yes, I am, I cried. You've seen it yourself. So many people have died around me because of me. Every time I try to move forward, bad things happen. People hate me. Nothing ever works out. I've never succeeded at anything. Miss Olivier shook her head firmly, tears now brimming in her eyes. No, child, you're wrong. You're not cursed. What you have is someone protecting you. Someone who fights for you in ways you don't see. Protecting me? My voice cracked. Who? Who is this person? I don't want their protection anymore. I want it to stop, Miss Olivier. I'm exhausted. I can't take it anymore. I paused, trying to compose myself through my sobs, then added quietly, Do you know where I can find the old woman? The one who found me? She's the only one left who might have answers. Miss Olivier hesitated again, then said, I don't know exactly where she lives now. She used to be in your mother's hometown. She and your mother were once neighbors. But child, the last time your mother saw her, she was already very old and frail. I'm not sure she's even alive. I have no choice, I whispered. I need to go. If there's even the smallest chance of finding her, I have to take it. I need to know who I really am. You can't go there alone, child. That family, they don't love you. I fear what they might. You don't have to remind me, I snapped, unable to hold back the pain any longer. I know they don't love me. No one does, Miss Olivier, no one. I screamed through my sobs, instantly regretting my words. Miss Olivier stepped closer, her voice quivering. But I love you, child, and so does your brother. I broke down again. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to yell at you. I know you love me. It's just... I couldn't finish. The weight was too much. Miss Olivier reached out to comfort me, but before she could, the front door flew open. 2 large, muscular men barged in, followed by my aunt. I want that old woman and this nobody out of my sister's house, my aunt barked coldly. Get them out, now. Aunt, this is my mother's house, I protested. Call me Aunt one more time, she snarled, and I promise I won't hold back from doing what I've wanted to do for years. I swallowed my fear. Fine, I said. But at least let us stay one more night. It's getting dark. My brother hasn't recovered. You said he's like a son to you, then figure it out like a mother would, she shouted. All right, we'll leave, Miss Olivier intervened. Please lower your voice. You'll scare the boy. Come, child, I'll get him. As Miss Olivier brought my sleepy brother out, my aunt sneered at me. You disgust me every time you look at me like that, girl. I'm sorry my face offends you. Aunt, I bit my tongue before calling her aunt. We left the house, suitcases in hand, while my aunt locked the doors behind us and drove away. Standing on the sidewalk, I turned back to look at my mother's house, now shut off from me forever. Tears blurred my vision. Miss Olivier, these suitcases? I asked. Yes, child. They're mine too. I was locked out as well, she whispered. We were lost, homeless. I needed help. But from whom? I couldn't take them to Jaden's house, too many questions Miss Olivier would ask. But maybe? Gabriel. I pulled out Miss Olivier's phone and nervously dialed Gabriel's number, copied earlier from Jaden's phone. After 2 tries, he finally picked up. Straight to the point, he answered gruffly. I froze, thrown off by his cold tone. I don't have time for this, he growled. I'm hanging up. Gabriel, wait, it's me, Katrina, I pleaded. Instantly, his voice softened. Pumpkin, is that you? Yes, I said quietly. I didn't know who else to call. I need your help, Mr. Gabriel. There was a pause. Whatever you need, Pumpkin. I need a temporary place to stay with my family. I can't take them to Jaden's for reasons I can't explain over the phone. It's all right, he said gently. You can come to my house. Where are you? I'll pick you up. No, just send me the address, I'll bring them. You sound upset. Is something wrong? He asked, his concern growing. I swallowed my tears and looked up at the sky to keep them from falling. I don't want to talk about it now, I whispered, then hung up. When Gabriel sent the address, we got into a taxi. I wasn't prepared for what awaited us. As we pulled up, there was no sign of a house, only an enormous, towering iron gate standing like a silent sentinel before us. The taxi driver shifted uneasily in his seat, glancing at the address once more. Are you sure this is the right place? He asked, eyeing me through the rearview mirror. Before I could respond, the gate slowly creaked open, revealing a long paved driveway that seemed to disappear into the dense trees beyond. A sleek black car emerged and rolled smoothly toward us, its polished surface gleaming under the faint moonlight. The vehicle stopped in front of the taxi, and 3 figures stepped out. 2 tall, broad-shouldered men dressed in sharp black suits, and a graceful woman, whose poise radiated both elegance and authority. Their expressions were unreadable, their presence intimidating. Who are these people? Miss Olivier and the driver asked at once, their voices laced with unease. I swallowed my nerves and forced a smile that didn't quite reach my eyes. It's all right, Miss Olivier. I know them. Without a word, one of the men stepped forward and handed the driver a black envelope, before moving to the trunk to collect our luggage. The second man approached gently, cradling my sleeping brother in his strong arms. The woman opened the car door for us and dipped her head in a respectful nod, her voice smooth and polished. Welcome, Luna. I stiffened, my breath catching in my throat. Luna? Why is she calling me that? Was there some mistake? Were they expecting someone else? I cast a glance at Miss Olivier, who was watching me now with growing suspicion and concern. But I couldn't show my confusion, not yet. The car glided down a long, winding driveway, flanked by still ponds and endless rows of towering trees. The deeper we drove, the more surreal it felt, like being led into a hidden realm far removed from the world I knew. Finally, it revealed itself, an enormous estate. 5 grand structures stood seamlessly connected, their glass windows reflecting the moonlight like crystals. It didn't look like a home. It looked like a kingdom. Miss Olivier's breath caught. She gently tugged my arm and whispered, her voice full of awe and confusion. Child, where are we? This place, it looks like a palace. I forced a small smile, avoiding her gaze. Let's get Edrine inside first, I said softly. You need rest. I promise I'll explain everything tomorrow. As we stepped inside, I was met with an unexpected sight. A grand foyer stretched before us, glittering with crystal chandeliers and polished marble floors. Dozens of people stood in perfect lines, dressed immaculately, their expressions warm but respectful. In perfect unison, they bowed slightly and greeted, We are pleased and honored to welcome you at last, Luna. My breath hitched. Miss Olivier turned to me sharply, her eyes filled with 1,000 unspoken questions. Luna, why are they calling me Luna? Who do they think I am? Or worse, who am I? I stood frozen as the people bowed before me, addressing me as Luna. My stomach tightened. I'm sorry, everyone. I think there's been a misunderstanding, I said awkwardly, forcing a polite smile. My name is Katrina, not Luna. The elegant woman who had greeted us merely smiled, unshaken. Please, Luna, allow me to show you to your rooms. I bit my lip in confusion. Why do they keep calling me Luna? My uneasiness grew. What happens when they realize I'm not who they think I am? The silent entourage led us through spotless halls and into an elevator, which lifted us to the 4th floor. Every corner of the house gleamed, too immaculate, too beautiful. It felt like stepping into a dream that wasn't mine. Inside the suite, Miss Olivier couldn't contain her amazement. Wow, how could anyone build something so beautiful? I have no idea, I murmured, distracted. I glanced at my little brother sleeping peacefully on the enormous king-sized bed. Miss Olivier, do you think he's okay? He's been sleeping ever since we arrived. He's fine, child. Just weak. Have you eaten anything? I asked, trying to refocus. Let's not talk about food, child, she said gently. Come sit with me. We settled across from each other on the edge of the bed. There's something you're not telling me, she said softly. Ever since you left for work, you've changed. Please, child, tell me everything. And first, how do you know this place? I inhaled deeply. This is my boyfriend's house, I finally admitted. She raised a brow, but then sighed. I don't know whether to be happy or worried for you. Aren't you happy that I've found someone? I asked. It's not that I'm unhappy, child, but I worry. I gave a small, sad smile. I know you'll be safe here, Miss Olivier, but I have to leave now. Where are you going now? To my mother's hometown. I need to find that old woman. If I arrive before my aunt, it'll be easier to ask grandmother for answers. It's dangerous to leave now. It's dark. I'm sorry, Miss Olivier. I can't wait any longer. I have to do this. My voice trembled. She studied me for a moment, then pulled me into a tight hug. If this is what you want, I won't stop you. I just want you to find yourself. I don't deserve you, Miss Olivier, I whispered, my tears threatening to fall. I wiped my face, stood up, and kissed my brother goodbye. With only Miss Olivier's phone in hand, I left the room. But once outside, I quickly realized I was lost. The mansion was too massive. After wandering, I finally found the elevator and pressed the ground floor button. As the door slid open, I nearly crashed into Gabriel. His eyes widened slightly in surprise as he saw me stepping out. His mere presence made my body heat rise instantly, a hunger awakening inside me that I couldn't suppress. My mind flickered to that moment in the pond, but my attention shifted sharply as I noticed a woman standing behind him. The witch. What is she doing here with him? Before my jealousy spiraled, Gabriel stepped forward, gently but firmly pushing me back into the elevator with his body. He blocked the witch's entrance and spoke coldly. Have someone find you an empty room. Then the elevator doors closed. He pressed an unseen button, eyes locked on mine. The elevator began moving, but then halted abruptly. We were trapped alone inside. My breath quickened as the heat inside me surged, wild and uncontainable. Gabriel wasted no time. His strong hands gripped my waist, lifting me effortlessly before pinning me against the mirrored wall of the elevator. His lips crashed onto mine with desperate hunger, stealing what breath I had left. Yes, I gasped against his mouth. This is what I wanted. The fire between us ignited instantly. His rough hands slid beneath my blouse, shoving my bra upwards as his lips traveled down my neck, leaving a trail of electric shivers in their wake. His fingers grazed my bare skin, stoking my desire until my body arched instinctively toward him. I felt the hard press of his arousal against me, and my pulse quickened even more. Look what you do to me, pumpkin, he growled, voice thick with desire. I whimpered, craving more. His hand slid lower, dipping beneath my waistband and finding the damp heat of my core. His touch was both gentle and commanding, and my body responded eagerly as his fingers explored me. Fuck, pumpkin, He rasped, his breath hot against my skin. You're so fucking wet. Did I do this to you? A broken moan escaped my lips as two of his fingers slipped inside me, stretching me in delicious fullness. My hips instinctively rocked against him, and when he added a third finger, my legs trembled, barely able to hold me upright. His thumb found my clit, circling it with expert precision, sending jolts of pleasure through my entire body. Stop wiggling, Pumpkin, he ordered, his voice low and raspy. Take it. Take my fingers. I want to feel you come all over them. His rhythm quickened, merciless and perfect, pushing me higher with every stroke. My breath grew ragged as the tight coil inside me finally snapped. Fuck, I cried, my body convulsing as wave after wave of ecstasy pulsed through me. He held me tightly, fingers still buried deep as I shook in his arms. Slowly he withdrew his fingers, bringing them to his lips and licking them clean, savoring my taste. You taste incredible, he murmured, before sliding his fingers back inside me, drawing out the aftershocks of my release. I moaned again, my need for him still burning, insatiable. My hands moved instinctively to his belt, desperate to free him, to feel all of him. But just as my fingers found his waistband, he stilled my hands. What's wrong? I panted, breathless with longing. Don't you want me? We can move this to my room. I want you, Pumpkin, he said, his voice low and strained. More than you can imagine. But there's something we need to settle first, before I take you as mine. There's nothing left to say, I whispered, my voice trembling. I've already given myself to you, all of me, right now. He stared into my eyes, his gaze filled with intensity and something deeper, something primal. Then he leaned in, his voice a dark whisper against my ear, making my skin tingle. If I take you now, I won't stop, and when I take you, I will mark you. You'll belong to me, forever, my mate, my Luna. Do whatever you want with me, I whispered, pressing myself closer. I'm yours, Gabriel, all of me. A low, growling hiss vibrated from his chest as his lips trailed down to my neck. All right, Pumpkin, he whispered. It's time. From this moment on, you're mine.
Jerome's point of view.
There's no fucking way my alpha would ever agree to this. He would rather die fighting than use his mate as a bargaining chip to save us. Even though we all mean everything to him. Who does that old man think he is? Yeah. I silently cursed myself for falling for the wrong woman all along. I had always believed that, despite the differences between our packs, we would somehow overcome them. But now, because of my blindness, I've brought this disaster upon my pack. They might lose their lives because of my stupidity. Jaden suddenly burst out laughing, so loudly that the entire wing fell silent. Everyone froze, shocked, as his laughter echoed through the hall. Even I forgot my pain for a moment and joined in, though my laughter was laced with guilt, pain, betrayal, and shame for what I had done to my pack. But Jaden's laughter soon turned unnerving. What's wrong with you? Are you joking right now? Joseline's father demanded. Jaden calmly walked over to him and lightly patted his shoulder. Son, I don't want to hurt you, so let everyone go, and remember this. Katrina belongs only to this man. No one has the right to use her as you planned. Wait, son? I blinked in confusion. Did he just call that man, who's at least 35 years older than him, son? Has Jaden lost his mind? The whole room erupted into stunned laughter. Did you just call me son? The old man barked, his voice rising. Are you even listening to yourself, Jayden Evers? What if I refuse? What will you— Before he could finish, Jaden's hand clamped over his face, forcing him to look directly into his eyes. The moment their eyes locked, the old man froze. His gaze flickered, blinking rapidly as though waking from a trance. What am I doing here? He muttered, disoriented. We all stared, stunned. Jocelyn and her family looked as lost as we were. The old man darted his eyes around the room, dazed, then turned to his men and ordered them without words to untie us. His men quickly obeyed, freeing us and hurrying out of the room. "I am deeply disappointed in you, Frederick," his wife hissed as she left, her stiff husband still locked in Jaden's piercing gaze. A while later, once they left our territory, Jaden's body wavered. His light smile faded, and then he collapsed. "No, Jaden!" I rushed to his side, gently shaking him. "Alpha!" Vanessa was instantly kneeling beside him, checking his vitals. It didn't take long before his eyes fluttered open. "Are you okay?" I asked urgently. "Is everyone safe?" was his first question. "Yes," I nodded. "Everyone's fine." "Good," he sighed. "Now, I need to talk to both of you." The three of us moved into my office, sitting across from each other. I began to apologize, but he quickly cut me off. "Jerome, this wasn't your fault, or anyone's," he said firmly. "There's no need for apologies. But as Beta, you have to be more careful. You know how dangerous these situations can become." He paused, then shifted his attention. "Anyway, that's not why I asked you both here. There's something important I need to tell you, especially you, Vanessa." Vanessa glanced at me, then him, her expression tense. "Should we be worried?" she asked cautiously. He hesitated for a moment, then blurted it out. "Nah, I lost my wolf." I stared at him, trying to hide my reaction. Truthfully, I wasn't surprised. The moment he entered that room earlier, I sensed something different about him, something hollow, as if a vital piece of him was missing. "But you're the alpha of this entire pack, of this house full of people depending on you, son," Vanessa said, her voice trembling. "That's exactly why I came to you for help," he snapped, frustrated. "All right," Vanessa sighed, trying to remain calm. "But I can't help unless you tell me exactly how it happened." Jaden exhaled, then began. "To make it short, I was abducted. Some strange people poisoned me. I was half dead for 6 days. When I woke up, my wolf was gone. I made a deal with one of their leaders. They promised to help me get my wolf back, in exchange for Katrina's ovaries. I saw how powerful her bloodline was while trapped in the spirit realm. But it was all a lie. They never intended to help." Vanessa's expression darkened with horror. "What were you thinking?" she shouted. "Why would you agree to something so vile? Did Katrina even know?" Jaden dropped his head like a scolded teenager and quietly shook his head. "She still doesn't know." I wanted to yell at him for what he'd done, but how could I? My own mistakes were unforgivable. Even without his wolf, Jaden was strong enough to crush me if I pushed too hard. Vanessa was silent for a moment, her mind working. "Let me ask you this. Was Katrina taken first?" she asked sharply. Jaden nodded. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. "Then I'll tell you something you clearly don't know. Those people, they're witches, Jaden. Immortal witches. They abducted Katrina because they saw something extraordinary in her, something they believe can cure their queen." Jaden furrowed his brows. You know them?" "Knowing them isn't important right now," she replied. "What matters is we act, quickly. We're running out of time." She turned to leave, but stopped in the doorway, looking back at me. "Jerome?" "Yes? Did you hear what I said?" "Loud and clear." So, you and Jaden are leaving to fix this mess," I answered dryly. "I need you too, Jerome. You're coming," she ordered, her voice like steel. "Oh, I'm sorry, Your Highness. I didn't know I was needed," I teased. "Now you do. Move your ass," she snapped. Later in Vanessa's room, Jaden sat between us, his eyes fixed on the flickering colored candles casting eerie shadows across the walls. "I'm going to send you back into their realm, the realm of the immortal witches," Vanessa said, her voice low and deliberate. "Your wolf is there, Jaden. But you need to understand, He's being held as bait. They know you'll come for him. They want you to. Why? I asked, my voice tight. Vanessa's expression darkened. Because they want Katrina, she said gravely. The only way to reach her is to open a portal from their world into ours. But that portal can only be unlocked through your wolf. If they succeed, they'll cross over, and both the human and supernatural worlds will pay the price. Without another word, Vanessa reached for a small black bracelet, its surface etched with faint, ancient runes. She tied it around Jaden's left wrist, her finger steady as she whispered an incantation. A soft spark shimmered through the bracelet as the spell sealed into place. This will mask you, she continued, her voice barely above a whisper. It will divert the eyes of those watching over your wolf. But heed me carefully, Jaden. No matter how strong the urge, no matter how desperate you feel, do not merge with your wolf immediately. The moment you do, the bracelet will break. And when it does, the portal will open, unleashing them into our world. She locked eyes with him, her voice dropping even lower. The fate of both worlds now rests in your hands.
Jaden's point of view.
I have no idea how witches' spells work, but whatever Vanessa did had pulled me back into that same empty room where my body had lain for the past 6 days. My eyes scanned the space, searching for my wolf as she'd instructed. But to my bitter disappointment, he wasn't there. Still confused and unsure where to go, the bracelet tied around my wrist suddenly illuminated, its glow forming a faint trail ahead. Without hesitation, I followed its guidance. The bracelet led me through a quiet, vibrant forest bursting with life. There was something oddly peaceful about it, a place that seemed too perfect to leave. I continued along the glowing path until I finally came to a halt. There, standing alone in a clearing, was my wolf. But no one was guarding him, contrary to Vanessa's warnings. "Did you distract them already?" I muttered under my breath, talking to the damn bracelet like an idiot. My wolf growled as our eyes locked. The bond between us burned like wildfire, alive, intense, unbreakable. His howls grew louder, desperate to reunite with me. "Shh." I tried calming him, but it was useless. "Calm down, big guy. I'm here to bring you home, but you need to keep those howls down, or we're both screwed." But my wolf didn't listen. His howls only intensified, echoing into the depths of the forest. I glanced down at the bracelet. The light was fading. Shit. One wrong move and we'd both be done for. After what felt like an eternity of hesitation, I made my choice. I merged with my wolf. As soon as our souls connected, the bracelet shattered into tiny black pearls that scattered across the ground. I braced for the witch's ambush, but nothing came. Not yet, at least. With caution, I marched forward, heading toward where I'd last seen the portal. The silence gnawed at me. No two-headed guards, no traps, no enemies in sight. It felt like eyes were watching me with every step, but no one revealed themselves. When I arrived, the portal was gone. Nothing remained. Now what the hell do I do? Then a small voice broke through the silence behind me. "I can help you." I spun around. It was a little girl, the same one I had seen Pinky swearing with Katrina. She stepped closer, her tiny eyes fearless. I snarled lightly, hoping to scare her off, but she didn't flinch. Any normal child would have run screaming for their parents, but not her, of course. They're not humans. "You don't need to scare me, Mr. Wolfman," she said softly. "I know you're not bad. You won't hurt me. You're a beast, but a good one. Just like your girlfriend." Suddenly, Jerome's voice echoed in my head. "Jaden, whoever you meet there, don't listen to them. You ignored Vanessa's orders, and you don't have much time left. Just concentrate and focus on my voice." I did my best to follow his advice, ignoring the girl's words. "Stop ignoring me, Mr. Wolfman," she pleaded. "I can help you without the elders noticing. If I don't, we'll all end up in the human world, and the damage will be massive. And besides, I just want to see my friend again." She followed alongside me, unafraid. I turned and growled more fiercely this time, making her tremble at last. I shot her one final warning glance and pressed on. "Oh, I'm older than you, Mr. Wolfman, so I'll do this my way," she mumbled defiantly. Before I could react, a strange surge of energy washed over me, and suddenly I was back in Vanessa's room, facing their stunned faces. The first thing I did was check. I could feel him, my wolf, whole, alive, running through me once again. "What would I ever do without you, Vanessa?" I exhaled. "You pulled it off. I owe you big time. But seriously, what's with those faces? Aren't you happy your alpha made it back in one piece?" A chilling voice answered before anyone else could. "Oh, they're happy, just not for you." I spun around to see a breathtaking woman I had never seen before standing behind me. "Who the hell are you?" I demanded. "Are you really asking her who she is?" Vanessa snapped angrily. Her fury didn't faze me, though. "I told you not to shift, Jaden. You disobeyed, and now you've unleashed the fire that could burn both worlds to the ground." "You don't need to worry about that, Mother," the mysterious woman interrupted smoothly. We all turned to face her. She was so damn beautiful that even Jerome was openly staring. "Wait a second. Did she just call Vanessa Mother?" "Mother, it's me. Oriana," she whispered. At the sound of her name, Vanessa rushed toward her, but Jerome stepped in, his body tense and protective. "Don't get too close. She could be dangerous," he warned. "I know her, Jerome. She's not dangerous." Jerome hesitated before stepping aside, but stayed alert, just in case. "Oriana, sweetie, how have you been all this time?" Vanessa's voice cracked. "I've thought of you almost every day. I always wanted to see you again, but I couldn't find a way." "I missed you too, Mother," Oriana whispered. They embraced for what felt like forever before Vanessa pulled back, her eyes searching. "Don't tell me you used your magic." "I had no other choice," Oriana confessed. "I always wanted to come to the human world, for you, and for my new friend. But don't worry, I destroyed the portal. They won't find me." "Don't be so certain," Vanessa warned. "They always find a way." "All right, ladies, that's enough," I interrupted. "As the alpha, I deserve to know what the hell is going on." "Hello again, Mr. Wolfman," Oriana greeted with a soft smile. I studied her face carefully. Recognition struck me. "Wait, are you that same little girl? How are you an adult now?" "She's in the human world, Jaden," Vanessa explained grimly. "You know very well this isn't a human world, and people like her aren't welcome here," I said. "But your girlfriend's human," Oriana argued. I glanced down at her petite frame. She stood as tall as Katrina, but still looked like a child in my eyes. "Listen, kid, it's because she is my mate. That doesn't mean I want the entire human world here. Still, that doesn't change the fact that she's Enough, Oriana," Vanessa interrupted sharply. "We have a lot more to discuss. But behave if you want to stay here safely." "Fine," Oriana muttered under her breath. I sighed heavily as they left the room. "I want her out of my house," I said as I walked away from Vanessa's room. After ensuring my people were safe and everything was under control, I headed upstairs for a much-needed shower. Once out, I entered the bedroom. The bed remained exactly as we'd left it, unmade with Katrina's pajamas still crumpled on the floor. I picked them up and inhaled deeply. I miss her already. I wonder what she's doing right now. Exhaustion finally hit me like a wave as I lay down. My eyes drifted shut, but just before I surrendered to sleep, I saw him again. The tall, dark man was standing silently at the edge of my room, shrouded in shadows. "This is not the time for rest," his voice rumbled, deep and commanding. "There is something you must do for us. You must stop Katrina before it's too late. She's chasing answers that were never meant to be found, and if she continues down this path, the consequences will be devastating for all of us."